We are awakening together. This is our weekly gathering we hold online. For more information, visit our website, awakening-together.org. We'd love to see you there.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Marisol. And welcome, everybody. It's good to be with you today. This is the time where we say good morning. We welcome each other on the board, and I'd ask Marisol to please play our first song. I'd ask her to play our Awakening Together song. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Marisol. So I want to begin with our statement of purpose. Awakening together is an assembly of equals, joined in common purpose, which is awakening to one true self. Within an appearance of many faiths, many cultures, and many symbols, members seek to discern one truth and rest in its embrace. And each week, the minister is to pick a core value that the message is going to emphasize. And this week, it is core value number 4, which is we affirm one true self as the only truth. We live this value by embracing what is helpful on the path of awakening without idolizing any spiritual doctrine as truth. That is what today will be about, ostensibly. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to move to announcements. Okay, those are our announcements. It's just a really good thing I'm only talking to me because I can barely see any of you. Boy, do I have a preference to do this on my computer. So I'm going to let that be. So we're going to switch gears now, and we're going to play our opening song. Before we do, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to let you know what the message is, what the name of this is. And I'm going to do it by reading it to you. Here it is. Okay. This is the title of the homily today. Why is the I am bad belief still here? You've watched yourself more and more attentively as you've progressed on the spiritual path. You've learned about the ego's preservation strategies. You have clearly seen the I am bad belief, and you have given your willingness not to believe it again. Heck, you even probably taken the releasing the I am bad retreat. So what exactly is the deal? Why is it still here? Seemingly, at times, just as virulent as ever. So it says, join me today. Here I am. And I'll share my learning and relearning and relearning and relearning. And the first thing I have learned in living my aspiration to heal the I am bad belief is to recognize when I'm caught in it, to recognize when it has reared up its head, it has taken over, and it feels oh so real. This is what I've learned. I've learned to say, oh my gosh, here it is. And so I just want to set that up as we play our first song, because I cannot let go of something I am not willing to see. And I am willing to see the I am bad belief, and I see it all the time. And so I'll just ask Marisol if she'd play our first song, which is by the King himself, and this is Suspicious Minds. Thank you. It's just good to start with the King. So if you will join me in prayer. Father, I get caught in a trap. I watch as this nervous system gets so captured by fear, by thinking I've done it wrong, by thinking things are wrong. And by following that and believing that resisting and pushing away and running away and denying and rejecting is the way out of the trap. I see that. And sometimes, even though I see it, I still feel caught in a trap. So I give my willingness to not believe it. I give my willingness to turn towards the discomfort I give my willingness to say hello to that old friend that comes up, to that practiced vibration of not quite being enough, this not quite being enough, me not quite being enough, not being good enough, not doing it right, not consistent enough. And I give my willingness to turn towards that and look right at it. And with your help, declare that is not true. I do not consent to believing this again. And I give my willingness and I ask for your help, because not only do I not want to let a good thing die, but I know it cannot die. I know I'm just caught in illusion. I know I get caught in that trap, but I can get out because I can relax, I can turn towards it, and I can ask you for help. And so it is. Amen. All right. Well, that's the homily. Let's see, reading. So Lisa is here. She's going to read to us from Angelo DeLulo's book, Awake. She's going to read excerpts from chapter 8, which is the practices and techniques. And I really appreciate Lisa being here and doing this reading. Lisa, I'll give you the mic.
Morning, everybody. Chapter 8, Practices and Techniques. When it comes to the subject of awakening, it can be immensely valuable to investigate the most basic assumptions we have about ourselves, about life, and about reality. When it comes to utilizing various techniques and practices, it is similarly valuable to begin by clarifying why we are applying specific techniques, what we are expecting to get out of them, and whether we recognize their limitations and potential drawbacks. In this spirit, I'd like to begin this section by posing a basic question about techniques and practices when it comes to awakening. Do you need practices and techniques to awaken to your true nature? Hopefully by now you won't be surprised when I tell you the answer is both yes and no. No. Your true nature is your true nature. It has never gone anywhere. It never could go anywhere. You have never been 1 millimeter away from the living truth of what you are, of what everything is. True nature permeates your conscious experience at all times, that which is aware of what you're reading right now. It makes up everything you see, feel, hear, taste, and smell. It is the effortless fluctuation and movement of everything in your experience. It is the unassailable stillness right here and right now. It is not even an it, because there is nothing apart from it to call it an it. It simply is. There is only this body-world universe, seamlessly self-expressing and dissolving with perfect clarity and precision. You can't lose it, thus you can't regain it. How could it be possible that you need a tool or a method to regain something you could never be lost? Everything in immediate experience is on fire with the radiance of living truth at this very moment. And also, yes, everyone I know of that has woken up to their true nature has done a good amount of practice of one type or another. However, the timing and types of practices and how they are applied vary tremendously among practitioners. The best way I can explain this seeming contradiction is to say that our nervous systems are particularly good at maintaining momentum. Without needing to remind them to do so, they will perpetuate ingrained patterns and neurological processes that make up our internal experience. This is especially true of the patterns of thought that create the ongoing experience of separation. Separation can never be found outside of thought, so we can't blame our perceptions of division, isolation, and thus struggle on reality. It's not reality's fault. We look at it through veils we constantly create with thoughts and preconceptions. So what is a practice? Simply stated, it is the act of unpracticing these habituated tendencies that cause us to perceive reality as divided into subjects and objects, pasts and futures, and problems and solutions. When we slow down this momentum of the mind, we begin to remember experientially what it is to be unbound, vast, and intimate with all of existence. In short, to practice is to undo habituated mental patterns that cause us to suffer. As long as there is a sense of a self apart, the one struggling to get rid of life, to wake up, and to solve the problem of being a suffering human, then directing the effort that arises out of that sense to an investigation of your true nature is a valuable undertaking.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. So it's been just wonderful to make sure I unmuted. Did I mute? Yeah, you can hear me. It's been wonderful to contemplate this these last several days, because I've gotten to watch the clarity. Like as I sit here right now, I imagine it may be fleeting, but it's just so clear. Oh, we get caught in habits. Oh, I don't want to get caught in habits. Oh, and I'm the one that's here. I can notice the habit. I always get to be here. So I'm always going to be able to notice this. Wait, this is a great setup. Wait, I'm never not going to be here. And all I have to do is notice it's a habit, be willing to notice it's a habit and call it out as a habit. And I truly understand it's a habit. Hell, I watch this habit. I'm very familiar with the habit. All I have to do is call it out and become aware of it. And it's like, oh, well, I can do that, right? And then and then something happens. And like all of that clarity goes away. And it's like somehow that's not true, or it's not accessible, or so let me just tell you what happened this morning. So this morning I woke up, and I woke up in like kind of a little bit of a sweaty panic. And all I could think was I had a mentoring session yesterday. And at the end, we decided the practice we were going to do for the next couple of weeks is to be grateful that we can see the circus, the circus in the meadow, right? We all love the meadow, but the circus comes. And I was like, who wants to see? So this circus is happening. And I'm like, wait, who wants to see this? I don't want to see the circus. Like, I don't want the circus to be. And then I'm thinking, why did we agree that was this isn't helpful? Like, this is like, and I could feel the circus. I could feel how believable it was. I could feel how much I didn't want to be there. I could feel everything in me going, no, 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 no. I went to bed early, I'm going to wake up happy and clear, and I'm not. And so all of this resistance came up to like, who the heck thought it was a good idea to be grateful to see the circus? And then I decided it was probably time to get up out of that bed and start to move about the day. Why? Well, first of all, like Angela says, let me go back to that page. Our nervous systems are particularly good at maintaining momentum. So the first thing is, can I recognize I have a sense of myself on the train, and the train is speeding. It's like there is already momentum. And like, can I realize our nervous systems are particularly good at maintaining momentum without needing to remind it. I didn't remind it. I didn't remind it at all that there was going to be a circus thing. It just perpetuates these ingrained patterns, right? And then these neurological processes, right? More and more thoughts that said, well, what are you going to do now? And you don't even know. And it's 6:05. You were supposed to sleep until 6:45. This isn't even enough sleep. I mean, it's like, and way more than that, I'm sure, right? And so it perpetuates ingrained patterns and neurological processes that make up our internal experience. This is especially true of the patterns of thought that create the ongoing experience of separation. So if my desire, if my true north, if my spiritual aspiration is to continue giving myself with everything, all the willingness, all the cooperative component in this field of non-judgment, all the acceptance, all the love, if my goal is to reach and see from unity consciousness, right, then I have to get real about the patterns of thought that create the ongoing experience of separation. I actually want to see the thoughts that create the separation, because what I'm told is it's those very thoughts that once I don't believe them, I won't see them as true. I won't see through them. I will see more and more from unity consciousness. Like, I can understand that. And so we do that by concentrating on discarding self-will, discarding when we see things as separate, and relying heavily on intuition, on the heart, on the place where there is it's all just one thing coming together and we just check in. And because self-will is being discarded, acceptance is going to increase. Then we want to get to this unity consciousness, which is identification with the purpose becomes very thin. Excuse me, not the purpose. Identification with the person becomes very thin. So who is it that in the mentoring session yesterday, who is it that even participated in that? Who is it that is now blaming themselves for suggesting a practice that actually isn't good? I mean, even that is like, wait, that's that sense of me. That's that separate me. That's that I did it wrong. And if I did it wrong, I'm bad. And if I'm bad, that sucks. And if that sucks, well, what the hell am I doing? And so this momentum gets maintained, right? It perpetuates these ingrained patterns. And this is especially true of the patterns of thought that create the ongoing experience of separation. So just right there, I can stop and go, oh, wait, this is definitely a pattern thought of separation. And I can look back at this unity consciousness and I can realize, no, I actually want to see from unity consciousness. Even in this moment, I want to at least remind myself that's the goal, because I'm kind of getting a little lost in this momentum. So unity consciousness, again, identification is with the person is very thin. Happiness is the basic way of being. And both clarity and intuition are easy. Yet spiritual maturing and awakening continues. This is the level of true perception. So what I begin to see is that when I'm seeing from a me, when I think I did it wrong, basically anytime the I am bad belief is up, I'm being given an opportunity to look right at it. I am being invited to see if I want unity consciousness sometime in the future, or if I would actually like to move towards it right now. Because what I can do, even right now, is lessen the division with the I am bad belief. I'm not enough belief. I did it wrong belief. And how do I do that? Well, how I do it is I stop buying into the story that it shouldn't be here. The very resistance to it being here is its perpetuation. It is perpetuated by the belief that it shouldn't be here. Because there's a me and there's a belief, and now I've got a problem. I've got an issue, right? And so can I see this pattern thinking that Angelo points us to? Why do we do practices? To undo the pattern thinking. But I can't undo anything that I don't see. And I don't think I'm going to see anything I'm not willing to see. So I have to start by being willing to see that pattern thinking is happening, that there is momentum here, that I am caught in a trap, that it feels like I can't get out, right? And I'm going to go back to those lyrics just for a second, because They have been very helpful to me. We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. So the wrong mind sees it as a love story and two people and trying to work it out. The right mind goes, there's actually part of me, and maybe love's a little too strong, but there's actually a part of me that is comfortable with this low, I've done it wrong, I am wrong vibration. There's actually a comfort level here. Oh, at least I know. At least I'm not going to get my hopes up. At least I'm not going to be too big for my britches. At least I'm not going to claim things that aren't true. What I realize is I have been cooperating with, consenting to, practicing this low vibration. And in the story of Anne, the version of the I am bad belief nowadays is like, I'm just a little disappointed. And I'm just a little disappointed. I mean, not as bad as I used to be. Oh my God, train wreck time. No, but I'm just a little disappointed. Ready? In myself. Just a little disappointed in myself. That's the flavor of the I am bad belief. And can you see the division that's right there? There's a me, there's an expectation. It's found wanting. And now this disappointed. Now, I'm not going to yell at myself. I'm way too spiritual for that. I'm just going to low level be disappointed. I'm just going to throw myself some shade that just kind of sucks the air out of my lungs and just sucks a little of the vitality out of life and just makes everything here that's green just a little duller, right? I am practicing that vibration. I am buying into, I'm a little disappointed. And then I watch how do I show up in the world? Well, I can't have any idea how you all think I show up in the world. I can only have my perception. My perception is I show up in the world as like just a little disappointing. I'm just a little disappointing to others. I'm just a little disappointing to myself. And then I buy it. I buy it. And then I go, I'm going to work on that. But can you see it's the entire thing? It's like the entire thing is that very vibration reinforces that it is true. And it's familiar and it's comfortable and it is known. And it really does feel like there is experientially, it often feels like I'm caught in a trap. It feels like I can't walk out. And I'm seeing more and more. It is because I love this comfort zone too much, baby. I'm a little too comfortable. I can play it small. And I know what that means. That means there's a belief that I'm fundamentally unsafe. And this is a defense mechanism. This is a strategy to keep me just a little safer. I don't want people to start to expect I can do that all the time. Next thing I know, they'll be asking for stuff. You're like, no, I don't want to. Like, it's just this, it's defending life. It's fending life off. It's creating this little me. And it can feel really subtle until I see it. And then it's like, oh God. And the result of this is that I am not as open to the joys in life. I am not as looking for, I wonder how it's all going to work out for me today. No, there comes this like kind of attitudinal, reflexive posture. Like, yeah, of course that didn't work. Like I could see it with the internet going out again. I could see mine going, yeah, well, that figures. Like just that. See that, just a little more deflated. Just bring those expectations, still buy into expectations. Just bring them down a little bit. And now I'm caught in a trap. I can't get out. And the fact is there is a part of us that is caught in a trap because the nervous system is in a loop. Our nervous systems are particularly good at maintaining momentum. Without needing to remind them to do so, they will perpetuate ingrained patterns. They will perpetuate ingrained patterns. You see, there's not a you there. No, your nervous system is on automatic pilot. That's why it's called an autonomic nervous system. It's an automatic nervous system. This idea, I did it wrong, is an after the fact claiming, blaming, and shaming of something that is neurologically wired in there. That's why it feels like we're caught in a trap. It feels like we can't walk out. Because if we look to whether, and Rhoda has this great term for it, it's revving. If we look for the revving as proof that we're doing it wrong, the nervous system's going to rev because we've believed the thought that says, I didn't quite cut it now. I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed. So it isn't quite, that's quite it. Like a little nose scrunch, you know? And so the nervous system, right? And the nervous system perpetuates ingrained patterns and neurological processes that make up our internal experience, right? Our nervous system's particularly good at maintaining that momentum. And then Angela says, this is especially true of the patterns of thought that create the ongoing experience of separation. And nothing makes me feel more separate from reality than the idea that I'm letting life down. I'm letting you down, letting me down. Like that thought this morning, I let down my mentee as a mentor in a mentoring session where the whole purpose was to be empty and only speak when words tumbled out, which is exactly what happened. But that wasn't Mind's story at 6:05 this morning. Mind had an entirely different story. Why? Because the nervous system is particularly good at maintaining momentum. And it had the momentum of, you're probably a little sucky. And it was like, let's find a way. I mean, I didn't conjure that up. I didn't put that in there. It's just the momentum. Okay. So first, it gets believed. Over decades, this gets believed. Whatever your version is of the I am bad belief, I'm not enough, or I kind of suck, or I always let myself down, I never follow through. Oh my God. It's like I can see every partner I've ever had said, you've got great ideas, but you just got no follow through. I mean, I can see them. I can see them. I can feel them. I can hear them. And so first it gets believed. Then it gets protected. No, that's not true. No. I mean, I didn't follow through that time. No, you don't understand. So then it gets protected. So first it gets believed, then it gets protected, then it gets lived from. That's the nervous system with the momentum. It got believed. Life put it in place with that belief. It gets protected because, hell, I don't want to be the person that never frickin' follows through. I need to explain, right? I need to have all kinds of, and then it gets lived from. It gets believed, protected, lived from. Every layer, and this is a layered thing. There is no I am bad belief. I mean, it's a useful concept, but it's not actually true. It's a layered web of interconnected belief structures tied into an autonomic nervous system whose sole purpose is to flee, is to fight, or to freeze, to stay safe, to stay okay, to stay sane, to stay loved, to stay, to not be cleaved off from the whole, to not be excluded, to not be rejected, to not be seen for the empty, not follow througher that I am. And every layer of that is just a little more dead. It's just a little more defended. It's a little more backed into a corner. And then the believing kicks in. This is the protecting. This is just how it is. This is just how I am. This is just what I do. Really? Really? You've done it again? You've done this again? Wow. I mean, you're supposed to, fine. I guess you just have to accept it. I mean, aren't you going to accept it? And you can see mind gets in there, right? I guess you're going to have to love it. You just have to forgive it. I mean, you can see mind gets in there, right? Protect it and now live from it, right? And here's what I've learned. All the YouTube videos on the planet, all the spiritual books, all the retreats and the classes cannot undo my fixed ways of being. my programmed attitudes and reactions, the charge I have around it, my fears, my disappointment, my shame, my embarrassment, my anguish, my humiliation, my blame story, my victim identity, my personality to date, which of course we know from Dr. Joe Dispenza makes my personal reality. And so the question is, where am I cooperating with this narrative? Where am I reinforcing this belief? Where am I acting out, supplying the proof that this is true? It's so funny. I am so programmed to wait for a pause and to see if anyone wants to share. And, but I won't do that right now. But I will ask, because the prompt came in, is there something right now that you just want to jot down to remind yourself you actually do want to look at? You actually do. Do we want to just take a second here and say, you know what? I actually don't want to keep cooperating. Let's just honor what has just flashed up, whether it's a belief, whether it's words, whether it's a scene, whether it's that time you did that thing, that thing you do, that thing you definitely did. Maybe you don't do it anymore, but you did it then. Can we honor how much consciousness wants to heal through you right now by just letting these words in and go, hey, how about this? Hey, how about this? Hey, how about this? And we all get this. We all get those. Can we turn right now and look and listen? So what Angelo says is this momentum, these fixed ways of being, these stuck conditions. See, here's the thing about them. They have unprocessed. We all know this, but it's here to say it's got unprocessed energy. The reason we go ugh is because it feels so crappy. And the ugh and the crappy that I feel is just the edge of it. And it may be different for different people. I think some people just have lighter loads. It just that little ick is just the beginning of the unprocessed energy that keeps the belief firing, that keeps the nervous system wiring, and that keeps this momentum in place. And so Angelo says this is especially true of patterns of thought that create the ongoing experience of separation. Now, stop just for a second and check in with yourself. And so you write in a way that makes the point you want to make, right? And I appreciate why he wrote, this is especially true of patterns of thought that create the ongoing experience of separation. But check in with yourself, whether you actually know all patterns of thought create an ongoing experience of separation. Patterns of thought are what create the ongoing experience of separation. And yes, it's good to point to different varieties because it gets our attention, but it's not like some thoughts create the perception of separation and some thoughts not so much. The only thing that ever takes us out of reality, out of being here now, in complete harmony with everything, like the space in the room, is attention to a thought. Up here. The thought is the perception of separation, because it's the thought that we think we are the thinker of, or the seer of, or the knower of. You've got two now. So you've got two. But when that thought is especially virulent, meaning it comes back all the time and it's deep and it's heavy and it says, you suck, or you're not enough, or you're disappointing, right away, it's made a you that is going to feel a nervous system that feels bad. And you're going to want to get away from it. Or you're going to want to blame someone else, project it out, right? Or you're just going to want to freeze and go to sleep. That's what I used to do. It was like, I don't know what to do with that. So separate, this is Angelo again. Separation, though, separation can never be found outside of thought. Separation can never be found outside of thought. So we can't blame our perceptions of division, of isolation, and thus struggle on reality. And this is what John Aston's whole retreat's going to be about. When you simply put attention on the no thought, no self, no thinker, no thing for long enough, there you are. And the you that's there is not a you. It's a there. But the there is never there, it's always here. So like every word just becomes a riddle, right? But here's the next thing Angelo says. It's not reality's fault that we look at it, reality, through veils that we constantly create with thoughts and preconceptions. It's not reality's fault that we look at it through veils that we constantly create with thoughts and preconceptions. So what's a practice? Again, Angelo. It's the act of unpracticing these habitual tendencies that cause us to perceive reality as divided into object, subject, right? Past, future, problems, solution. Said another way, when we decide, and it is a decision, it's a subtle decision, it's a fast decision, it's a programmed decision, it's an automatic decision, but it is a decision, or at least it's very helpful for me to call it out as a decision. When I make the decision that the I am bad belief is a problem, I'm now separate from it, and now I got to try to find solutions. It's so quick, isn't it? Just hides in plain view. And the thing is, it's going to feel like a problem. At least it does for me, because it feels so icky. I mean, it's just like my gut gets tight, my belly gets tight, my throat gets, I mean, everything in me wants to get away from what? Well, in that moment, from me. And since I can't get away from me, I internally divide against it. You see how quick that happens? It's so natural. I internally divide against it. So what's the answer? See that. See that. See that move to internally divide. You can't internally divide. You can simply believe in an internal division. And believing in an internal division, we have a word for that. It's called suffering. Right? I mean, that's just, what else is suffering? Except for believing in that we have to divide from something that's already here. We're seeking to divide up reality. Reality is one single thing, right? And we're going to just slice and dice it. So what's a practice? The practice is unpracticing, the act of unpracticing these habitual tendencies that cause us to perceive reality as divided into subject, object, past and future, problems and solutions. When we slow down this momentum of the mind, we begin to remember experientially what it is to be unbound, vast, intimate with all experience. So, what's the practice? And for me, the practice is A, see I'm caught in a trap. See I'm caught in a trap. See, it feels like I can't get out. And then look to see, is this a familiar vibration? And do I want to continue to love it? Do I want to continue to practice it? Do I want to continue to consent to it? Do I want it to be a part of my future? Do I want it to be a part of my present? And if I don't, if that clarity is here, right? And it's not always here for me. There are periods of rest, accept, and trust between many of these sentences for me. then, so realize I'm caught in a trap. Step 2, give a little bit. Give a little bit of willingness to not divide against it. Give a little bit of time to let it be. Give a little bit of love to a nervous system that's a little freaked out, that could use a little love right now. Give a little bit. When we, Angelo again, when we slow down this momentum of the mind, right? We begin to remember experientially what it is to be unbound, vast, and intimate with all experience. And I believe I met Lisa, and this, I may be wrong, but first time Lisa came into my awareness was during the Dorothy Hunt retreat, being intimate with the infinite. And you remember Dorothy Hunt's definition of intimate: undivided to. Undivided to. So give a little bit of willingness to be intimate with the I am bad belief, to be undivided from the I am bad belief. It's here. It's here. You don't have to go look for it. I wouldn't go look for it. But when it's here, give a little bit. Give a little bit. In short, Angela, to practice is to undo habituated mental patterns that cause us to suffer. As long as there is a sense of self apart from something, self apart from the I am bad belief, self apart from being a disappointment, self apart from having done it wrong, self apart from fear. As long as there is a sense of self apart, that is the one struggling to get life right, to wake up and to solve the problem of being a suffering human, then directing the effort that arises out of that sense to an investigation of your true nature is a valuable undertaking. Use the uncomfortableness, use the energy, turn it around, and give a little bit. Give a little bit of time, give a little bit of your life, give a little bit of love, give a little bit of attention, give a little bit of attending, and prepare to be amazed. Take his hands, you'll be surprised. And I'd ask if Marisol could play our song to contemplate this. Come along too. What a long ride. You've come a long way. But we're going home. And it's just it's a joy and it's a privilege. Words can't express. What an honor it is to walk this path with all of you. It's just a gift beyond gifts. So I thank you. And now we have a little bit of time for sharing. If anyone feels called. Wonderful, Tina.
It's a question. Okay, so that was a lot and amazing, and I loved it. I was trying to write fast enough, so I just wanted to get down this. I have, how do you unpractice? Right at the end, we were like, how do you unpractice? And I almost did it just then. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. So one, I'm supposed to see that I'm caught in a trap, see the trap. I'll have to pray to see that trap because it's sneaky little bastard. Oh, sorry. Sometimes sneaky. 2, do I want to stay in the trap, give willingness to welcome whatever is here, or the I am bad belief? Was that 2? And I never got anything for 3. I didn't hear that.
first of all, I think it's perfect. And if there was a 3 for me, it would be give a little bit. Whether that's willingness, whether that's attention, whether that's time, whether that's patience, whether that's love. And you give a little bit by putting up your hand and just letting your true desire get clarity about that. So this is giving a little bit. It's a lot of it. Rhoda, hello.
Hello, my friend. You know, the singular focus of really honestly and truly knowing with all of my heart that every thought pattern is actually the ongoing experience of separation. And yet not being divided to that. Like, I could not feel that more clearly than I do in this moment. And I just really can feel the joy and the willingness to just say yes, at least, say yes to letting it be seen. Let this God blessed, I am not enough and it's always freaking wrong and I'm never going to get it right. Just keep letting it come, however many ways it comes. See it, see it, see it, see it, see it, see it. Notice when it's believed. And then give permission at that point to stop. Just give willingness to stop. I don't actually have to stop. I just have to give my willingness. Thank you. That message could not be heard enough for this one these days. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you. John and Dan.
Man, so just a little clarity or clarification, I guess. Because the mind is really about obscuring things right now. So we're noticing when these things come up. And when you say give a little bit, what I'm seeing is give a little bit of my noticing and allowing to it, just allowing it to come up, because I can't think of anything else to do with it other than that. Am I still there?
You're there. I mean, that's how it is for me. I'm just, here I am. I don't know. The fact that I don't know what to do with it is such a good sign, because mine's given up. And for me, it feels awful. But like, the one that is willing to not do anything with it is the one that is moving back towards unity consciousness, isn't it? Because it's all just seen as something I don't have to do something with, right?
Right. Mine is going, you need to know what to do with it. I'm like,
of course it does.
So far, that hasn't happened. So, all right, beautiful. I just wanted to feel a little clearer on that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, John. And, so Rhoda had this gorgeous sharing Wednesday that really just inspired me. Here's my notes from her sharing Wednesday, which is recorded. You can all listen to. Why would I keep choosing misery? She's like, oh, in my misery, my safety lies. She really started to uncover it. And then Meg wrote something on the board that I wrote. She said, we weave the dream. Personally, I enjoy a miserable day occasionally. It's not personal, so it's not sad. And so in that vein, we all have a miserable day every now and then. It's not personal, so it's not sad. I'll ask Marisol, she'll play our last song, which is Take the Long Way Home. And there's a point in that song where they go, is there no way out? And then it says, you never see what you want to see because you're forever playing to the gallery, right? You're just caught up in the story. It's just, right? And then, do you feel your life's a catastrophe? Well, it has to be for you to grow. So whether you call it a miserable day or whether you call it a catastrophe, give a little bit of willingness to grow. And I think we're on our way back home. So Marisol, perhaps you'll play that Take the Long Way Home song. Thank you. Thank you, Marisol. I know we're over. I feel to say just one more thing, which is, when you look through the years and see what you could have been and what you might have been, I freaking promise you, you will never regret looking at this belief every single time it comes up, giving whatever willingness you have, just a little bit, and standing right there. And like Second Timothy says, look with me, feel with me, and just giving this, that moment. It's here. It's asking for you. It's a call for love. We are that love. And when we show up to life as that love for ourselves and those we love and for life, there's no looking back through the years and could have been, might have been. It's just now. And we are always walking each other home. So I love you all and I thank you. And God bless.
You've been watching our online gathering. It happens weekly on Sundays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. To join us live in the sanctuary, visit our website, awakening-together.org. You'll want to click on Online Sanctuary in the main menu, and then in the drop-down menu, look for How to Enter the Sanctuary. Right there at the top of the page is a clickable link. We'd love to see you in the sanctuary and join with you in fellowship. Thank you again for watching. Also, please know that if you'd like to stay connected via the Awakening Together channel here on YouTube, you can subscribe and hit the bell for more notifications. We hope to see you in the sanctuary.